Hello friends, it's Cindy Brumbaugh from CindyLeeBDesigns.com, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Today's card is one I've seen around, but I just recently saw Connie Stewart do a card, and it's a twist, and wow, isn't that cool? So you twist the card, so simple to make. So we are going to make this card right now. We're going to be using the windmill dies. Those really fun windmill fields dies. They are carrying over. Love that little bicycle. I might actually put it on the inside of this card. I'm not sure yet. So you just have this card base, and then when you twist it open, you can see the whole card that way. I have my camera set up a little funny. I'm not sure if you're seeing it all. Okay, so we're going to start out with some of the colors that are in the designer series paper, the flowering tulips. And there's almost every color. You can see the purples and yellows and oranges and pinks, but I decided to go with the Pear Pizzazz as the card base. And what we're going to do is just grab our card base here. This is a 4 1/4 by 11 piece. And we are going to, let's put our little windmill dies off to the side here. Okay, we're going to just put the long side of the 11 inches, and we're going to score it right in half at 5 1/2, dark for cutting, light for scoring. And then while we're in there, we're just going to pull back this to 4 1/4, and up on this side here, we're going to make a little mark here at 4 1/4. And then we're just going to do a little scoring. We're going to put that tick mark in our cutting groove, scoring groove, and take the point. Here we go. Take the point on the lower right inside of the card there. Well, right there. And we're going to put that point there and point the tick mark also in the groove. And then we are going to, I'll pull this up so you can see this. We are going to score with that light gray scoring. Okay. So we just started here, and when we scored at 5 1/2, we just pulled it to 4 1/4. We made a little tick mark with our pencil, then we just turned it, put that tick mark in the groove, along with the point at the end, opposite side there, and did another score line. That is how hard it is to make that card. Then all we have to do is take and fold back this part of the front of the card, and we're just gonna get a nice, crisp burnish on that score line there. Right on that score line, and we'll just go ahead and do the side there. That's the hardest part of the card, right there. So what we're gonna do then is use Pool Party to be our sky here. And that's gonna be going on the front of the card, and you're gonna see the Pear Pizzazz on this corner of the card base and on the inside. So what we're gonna do is decorate up this inside here. I did that flowering tulips paper, designer series paper, and it has a pretty green on the back that we're going to put on the card as well. Now we're just going to put this at the bottom of the Pool Party. Okay. There we go. And we're just going to pop that onto the bottom of the Pool Party, and that Pool Party is 4 inches. And I see that maybe it's cut a little bit. So I'm gonna just trim a tad bit of that off there because my paper's a little bit short there. So I'm just gonna pop it in there just so that it matches up with the designer series paper that I cut. Okay, there we go. So there is the beginning of our card. Now I'm going to put some little fences posts on here, and those fence posts comes in the windmill fields die, and I just did them in crumb cake. And what I'm going to do, make sure all my little pieces are, I'm going to turn it over, get my little mat there, my silicone mat. I'm just going to put a little bit of dots of glue on here. And this glue is handy there. And I'm just gonna grab my little tweezers here. And I'm gonna pop these little crumb cake fences right onto the edge where our flowers are. and I just took the bottom of the fence and put it right on the edge of the designer series paper. There we go. Put one fence there and one little fence over here. And it just makes that designer series paper seem like it doesn't have a flat edge because it covers up that flat edge, so it just seems like it's a horizon line there. Okay, and then we're just gonna build up our sweet little windmill. And I just used soft suede, white, and crumb cake. So I'm gonna put a little bit of white glue on the back of the white one. And I'm just kind of giving it a little bit of here and there. And then I'm just gonna pop that onto my crumb cake. And I pulled that crumb cake being a nice neutral with the fence and then the inside of the windmill. And then I'm just going to take and put a little hole. I'm gonna match up the hole. Oh, this is my mat that doesn't have any pokes on it. That's what I use sometimes when I need a nice, this was my poker one. So I'm going to put the blades right over that hole that's on the windmill, and I'm just gonna put a poke in there. There we go. And I think I poked the whole way through, didn't I? Oh my gosh, look at that. I went the whole way through. Okay, well, I guess that paper's done. And I had my little round and square brads here, and I just went with a black round one. And of course, I should have had that out. Of course, there we go. Just put a little black one there. The white was a little too big in the square, and the white was a little bit off. So we're just gonna pop that little brad through the blade and then through there. And then take those little handles, arms, and poke that down. And then what I'm gonna do is take a little piece of, wow, I just really stabbed through there. I'm gonna put a little piece of tape to hold that down. And there we have our little blades. And then we're gonna pop those onto our card front. Put a little glue on there. Actually a lot of glue because we want that to stick down there. I'm gonna do something, and I'm gonna put a tiny dab in each of the corners of the blade, just because I kind of want it to sit down, because I didn't double the thickness of it. So I'm gonna just put that in the middle there, put it down, and then kind of move my blades. There we go. But I know that I have glue under there after I put my little clouds on, and those clouds are adorable that are in the die set too. I at first thought that they were kind of small, and then when I started playing with them, I'm like, no, they're actually just perfect for this die set. So some little clouds there. Another cloud on the other side. Wonder about putting another one here. I think I'm gonna do that, change it up a little bit. There we go, a little glue on there. There we go, little clouds, oh there, perfect. Okay, now we're just gonna pop that onto the front of our card. But before we do that, I'm going to put our white on the inside because we can gauge our putting on the square. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we are going to stamp some tulips on the inside on this one. On this one, I just put a sentiment from the Celebrating You stamp set, but on this one, I pulled out my Flowering Rain Boots stamp set, and I thought it would be cute to put some tulips on there. So we're gonna put some of the stems from that set. We're just gonna ink up those stems, and I'm gonna put the stems the higher up stems off the edge of the card. So there we go. So there's some tulip stems. And then I'm going to put the little, let me see here, I didn't have this on a block. Okay, let me find a block here. Do you think I could find a block that fits there? Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and do some pumpkin pie tulips. I was gonna be creative and do a whole bunch of different colors, but I decided with the paper, the pumpkin pie, as you can see here on the card, the pumpkin pie really pops out at you. So I'm gonna just pop those tulips, standing up here on my tippies. Hoping I'm getting them right into place. Some beautiful orange tulips there. And then we're gonna use a great sentiment that's in that set about living life in full bloom. And what I did is the inside of our card is going to have some of this purple in here. So I thought I would use that rich raspberry to be the sentiment there, just to pull that color. I wanna make sure there aren't any little edges on my stamp. This is one of the blocks I got in my paper pumpkin. Okay, rich raspberry. Make sure there aren't any blobs. Live life in full bloom. I like it. Looks really dark right now. That was rich raspberry. Yes, it will lighten up. Okay. Sometimes you stamp it down and you think, oh gosh, that's so dark, but it really does lighten up. Okay, so this is going to be on the inside of the card. So we're going to just pop a little glue on these edges. And as I always say, don't squiggle all over it, because it does show up when it's mailed and people go to write it, when you go to write in it. So we're just going to get a nice equal border on the bottom and the left and right. There we go. And then we're going to see how the card's going to open this way, but we have to put on our card here. And that's where it's nice that you can now line up that card against that white there, okay? But it's not going this way, it's actually going this way. Oh gosh, I would have been crying like a little baby if I would have done that wrong. You know me. I would have been just frantic. Okay, come on, glue. I know you're full here. Okay. A little glue will do it. I almost did that the wrong way. Oh my gosh. Now, I'm going to turn it this way, though, so I can see my edges here. Okay, I want to line it up against the white on that inside and push it down a little bit so it's the same. There we go. Straight on that side. Okay, and then you put a cute little decorative piece of designer series paper here. That's the opposite side of the designer paper. And we're gonna get some glue on. I don't know what is wrong with this piece, this glue container. Maybe get this one out. I don't know if this one's working better. No. Let me just do a little surgery on my glue here. There we go. Thank you. Okay. I put it on the wrong side. Put it on the wrong side. Okay. Hold on a second. Let me cut another piece. All right. All that trouble, and then I cut the wrong piece. So I guess it's going to be a little darker there. But you see that dark in that there. I like the lighter one, but I put it on the wrong side. Yep. See what you did to me, glue. Had me all flustered. I'm going to put you in time out. Okay, so we're going to center this green on the pear pizzazz, leaving a Nice border around there. Okie dokie schmoky. And so we can still see the color that's pulled out in the stems of the tulips. And then when you open it up, you have this little blank area here. And that is where this baby goes. And I'm so glad that I didn't mess that up, because this was the one that actually, when I cut it, matches up with these tulips. See how the colors match up? So I really would have been crazy. And hopefully I've got that straight. Okay, so there you go. You just put that other, and if you wanted to, you could have put the green there. Kind of would have looked nice, but I kind of like that, the tulips in there, but the green could have went there as well. Okay, so there you go. This is the way the card is. The person opens up the card and sees this, and whoop, there we go. I think my camera went crazy there. And then you just say, oh, that's cool, and open it up, and you have the wow. So a twist and wow. Isn't that cool? Oh, I love that. So here's the outside, here's the inside. So the outside looks like this, and then the inside looks like that, where you can see the card. Ha, isn't that cute? So, as I said, it's just take a look around Pinterest, and I saw Connie Stewart did one, and it inspired me to use my windmill fields dies there, and my flowering rain boots stamps there. See how that's lightened up really nicely, and I use the Celebrating You stamps out here. But all the materials and the measurements and everything I did on this card are in the description underneath the YouTube video. I have the measurements and the colors and the products and links to my online store, but you can also press on the link where it says visit my blog here. Press on the link, it takes you over to cindyleebdesigns.com. I'll have additional photos and little tidbits and tips over there on my blog. Subscribe to my blog. I like to post on Monday, Wednesday, Friday with a video on Wednesdays. And if you have any questions, you can comment on my blog post, you can comment on the YouTube post. You can also text me at 724-323-2296 or give me a call, or email me at cindyleeb@gmail.com. Thanks for buzzing by, friends.